Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now this is the first installment of a little 10-part series that I'm going to do where I take my 10 worst songs from my 10 favourite artists. I was going to say 10 least favourite, but no, let's be honest, it's the 10 worst songs and it's my opinion obviously. And I did a video, it must have been about nearly a year ago now, if not over, where I listed my 10 favourite artists of all time. So I'm going to take those artists, and the first up will be David Bowie, who is my favourite artist. Now, a few rules here. The first rule is it cannot be a cover version. It has to have a David Bowie credit on it. It has to be either an A-side, a B-side or an LP track. And it has to have been released while he was alive. Also, I'm not going to include the Ryko disc bonus tracks, which feature some outtakes. He was alive whenever they came out, but I'm just ignoring them. So, starting off at number 10, and we have from the Tonight album in 1984, the much maligned album, and it's the last track, Dancing with the Big Boys, which was the B-side of Blue Jean, and it is a bit of a mess. There is actually not a bad little guitar lick at the start, but this is so full of horns and it's so cluttered and it is tuneless, and to me I just don't like it. Now, Bowie himself said that this one is the closest he got, this song, to what he wanted from the Tonight album, but thank goodness he didn't go any further, because if this is what he wanted, the album would have been a complete disaster. But Dancing with the Big Boys is just not a great song at all, and it gets my number 10. At number 9, and we have from this album here, The Next Day. This is 2013 comeback album, and it is You'll Set the World on Fire. Now, if you look at it, it's not a bad song, but I just think it's so bland. It's just a generic rock song that could have been sung by anybody like Bryan Adams or any soft rock act, and that's, to me, is not David Bowie. It's melodic enough, but it's just, to me, it's very, very predictable in the way the song goes. So when the first time I heard it, I thought I've heard it before. I just don't like it. I skip it, and to me it lets this album down a bit. And there were other great tracks that got on to the Next Day Extra that could have replaced this, and a couple of others as well. So You'll Set the World on Fire from 2013 is my number 9. Now at number 8, we're going into the glory years, as I would say, from 1969 to 1980. And it's from the Lodger album from 1979. Now this is a brilliant album, but there's a couple of bad tracks on it. One, Missed the List, Red Money, but Repetition is in here. Now the subject matter itself is quite disturbing. It's about domestic abuse, where a husband is beating up the wife for simple things like the dinner not being quite ready on time, etc. And the way the song is actually structured is good because it reflects the subject matter, but I just find it so boring and repetitive. Now, he did do a live version of it in the mid-90s, and it's got on 2 Changes Now, Bowie, which is much, much better than this, but to me, I don't think it's that great. And also the production of it by Tony Visconti, I think, is very muddy as well, which doesn't help the track. Now, Visconti did remix this album in I think it was 17 or 18, one of them anyway, which I've got, and it improves it a bit. But this is the original, and it's never been one of my favourites. It got on to the B-side of DJ. And at number 7, we have from Black Tie White Noise, the 1993 album, and the track is Don't Let Me Down and Down. And this sounds as if it could have come from the Never Let Me Down album. It is very weak. It's a ballad, syrupy ballad. I don't like his voice in it, and it has quite a jazzy feel to it as well. It's always been one of my least favourite tracks, and it's actually been my least favourite track, apart from maybe one or two of the cover versions, but it's just disappointing, and it's my number 7. Now at number 6, and I tried to like this so much when it came out in 2014, but it is Sue, A Season in Crime. And this is about, I'm not too sure how long it is, about 10 minutes of pure freeform type jazz, and it's just, it bleeds my ears, it really does. Now on the B-side there's an edited version which I can take, which means this is not my number one worst. I can actually take the B-side or the edited version. But this here is tuneless, and it goes on all directions, random notes thrown here, there and everywhere, you know, and it was disappointing that this was released as a single. Now it was reworked for the Black Star album, which improves it greatly. It's still not one of the best songs he's ever written, but still, it's my number 6. I'm just not keen on it at all. And at number 5 we have from 1987's album Never Let Me Down, and it's New York's in Love. And to me this is just bland. He's not inspired at all in this song. It is cluttered as well. I could have picked Too Dizzy, which was taken off this album from anything released I think after 1995 onwards, because he couldn't stand the song, but I think it's better than New York's in Love. It has been improved when it's been reworked on the 2019 version, I think, with whenever all the instruments were taken away and Reeves Gabrels sort of rebuilt the songs with new instruments. Slightly better, but still, never liked it. Awful song. I guess my number 5. At number 4 we have a single, and it's Laughing Gnome, and a lot of people love this. I think it's crap, I really do. I think it's absolute garbage. It tries to be funny. I don't even think it's that funny. I don't know why he was doing this. Okay, maybe the first album sort of reflects this sort of stuff, but if he's going to do a novelty song, release as a single, I think Uncle Arthur would have been much better. I just don't think it works, and the little gnome voices, obviously done through helium, I would have thought, just annoy me. Big hit 1973 when Ziggy was riding high. It got to number 6, but no, not a fan of the Laughing Gnome. I guess my number 4. And at number 3 we have from 1995 and from the One Outside album, or this one is Excerpts from Outside, and it's A Small Plot of Land, which musically is not too bad. It's got a sort of very jazzy piano from Mike Garson, which is good, but the way the vocals are structured around the song is terrible, and he's singing poor soul, and there's no melody whatsoever. I'm a melody guy. I just can't stand this singing in any sort of direction to music. To me this is not very good at all, and it's my number 3. Now at number 2, you can nearly say this is not even a song. It's from his debut album, and it's Please Mr. Gravedigger. Now a lot of people love this, but there's no musical backing. He is singing almost in a nursery rhyme type fashion, and he's sneezing. It sounds as if he's got a runny nose when he's singing as well, and really there's background noises like storms and so forth, and rain pelting down, but it's terrible. It's absolute garbage, and thankfully it's only about 2.5 minutes long, but to me it's by far the worst track off this album, which is not a bad album, but I know it's different, but sometimes different doesn't necessarily mean it's good. To me this is rubbish. And my least favourite Bowie track, the worst, is from 1997, and it's the last track on Earthling, and it's called The Law, Earthlings on Fire, which I think is very cluttered in music. There's a lot of sort of speech samples, etc., voice samples, which I don't like, and then the way he's singing the sound of the ground just annoys me, and there's no melody to it at all. It's just awful, and I've never liked it. This probably actually is my least favourite Bowie album, because it is really drum and bass, which does my head, and it really does. It puts me in a bad mood. Although a couple of good tracks off this, and overall, if they had re-recorded this album in a slightly different way and dropped all that drum and bass nonsense, it would have been a decent album. But for now, The Law, Earthlings on Fire is my least favourite Bowie song. Okay, so that's my top 10 worst songs from my favourite artist, David Bowie. The next one will be my top 10 songs from my second favourite artist, which will be Mark Bolan and T-Rex, and then after that ABBA and so forth. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have that next video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.